Welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to show you something that's really cheap for what it is. I'm going to go through all the steps. It's delicious, and if you've got a guest to impress on a budget, stick around. I'm going to show you every single little step so you don't muck it up. Basically anybody can cook this and it's going to turn out absolutely bloody delicious. So we better have a look at our star ingredient, the steak. Today we're going to be using a cross-cut steak because that's what was cheap. You don't want to be using a really lean cut like a top side. You want something with a fair bit of fat content. And the beauty of this recipe is you can buy the cheapest cut they've got there, like a chuck steak, and it's going to turn out as good as any prime rib, I can guarantee you. The second star ingredient is French onion soup mix. Like I said, it's a bit of a hack, but trust me, it's going to turn out delicious, and it's very budget friendly. This soup mix here was a whopping 55 cents. And that's all you need basically. You can buy your cheapest cuts of steak. I did pay a little bit more for that. That was 20 bucks. I know I can get about that much chuck steak for probably half of that, 10 bucks. And obviously water. What I have here is about 400 to 450 mils of hot water. First thing we're gonna do, I'll give you a bit of a look at the back of this if it's gonna show. It's probably not, but I'll run through it anyway. This soup mix here makes up 1 litre. So you want the soup mix or enough French onion soup mix to make up 1 litre. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna have enough to make up what the packet says 1 litre, but we're only gonna mix up 450 mils. So that's a bit of a hack there. If you skip through, you're gonna miss that one. It's not gonna turn out as good. So make sure you don't skip any. You gotta watch the whole thing for it to turn out as delicious as it's gonna be. Our first vital step, and like I said, it really is very simple. Anyone can do it. Put your soup mix in the hot water. Anyone can do this. Complete novice. Obviously, give it a nice little stir. Make sure it's all dissolved. And we'll set that to the side for later. You want to do that first, just so it's got time to fermiate and whatever. As you can see, I've got this cast iron skillet really smoking hot to the point where it is smoking. Hear that sizzle? That's what you want to hear. You don't want to be putting your steak on a cold pan. Get it really hot to the point where there's a bit of smoke coming off it. And it's only going to take a couple of minutes each side. What we don't want to do is fully cook our steak. All we're doing is giving it a good hot sear on either side. And that's exactly what we're looking for. You just want a nice bit of colour on each side. Like I said, you don't want to cook your steak through. Just a bit of colour on each side. And that's perfect. I don't know whether you've noticed or not, but I didn't put anything on those steaks. You don't have to worry about seasoning. I know if you're not used to cooking a steak, you're worried about how much do I put on. I've eliminated that altogether in this recipe. Just pure raw steak straight on the hot cast iron. I like to use the cast iron skillet. If you don't have one, don't stress. Any frying pan will do the job. All you want to do is just sear it on high heat, a little bit of oil, and just get that colour going for you. Because what you'll notice when you've done this, it's released a fair bit of flavour already just by giving it a really hot, nice sear. Our next step, again, couldn't get any easier. the French onion soup mix that you've had mixed up. All you're gonna do, make sure you give it a nice stir so you know that it's all well and nicely mixed. Simple as, all you're gonna do is tip it over the top of your steaks. And what you wanna do, you wanna get it on top of your steak. Just like so. Simple, simple, simple. Just about that much. I've actually made up a little bit too much there, which is not a drama at all. I'm gonna give you a look at what I've done, just so you know exactly. What you wanna do is have the soup mix so it's about halfway up the side of the steak, like so. You don't wanna fully drown your steak. And there you go, that's a pro tip, about halfway up your steak. If you've got too much, no drama. If you're using a bigger pan and you haven't quite got enough, that doesn't matter either. But no more than halfway up your steak, and so long as the bottom of the pan has plenty of juice in it, because that's going to be very important later on. From here, doesn't get any simpler. Wrap the top in aluminium foil. Make sure you've got all the edges all squashed down nice and tight. Stick it in the oven. I set mine on a very low heat, 120 degrees Celsius. And we're gonna sit it in there for 1.5 hours, and we're gonna pull it out, and I'm gonna show you what we do about halfway through cooking. We could probably do a whole nother video of making different mashed potatoes, because I've got a few different recipes for mashed potatoes. They're a whole nother thing altogether. We're just gonna do a very simple one today. Very simple, potatoes in boiling water, 20 minutes. I'll come back in about 20 minutes, or whenever they're cooked, I'll let you know how long it took, and I'll show you how to tell when they are cooked. There's one thing that you do not want with mashed potatoes is undercooked potatoes, because that's when you'll end up with lumpy mashed potatoes. And you don't want lumpy mashed potatoes. Like I said, I'm not going to waste too much time teaching you how to cook mashed potatoes. One thing I will show you is how to tell when your potatoes are ready. Get a fork, stick it in one of your bigger pieces, and if it just breaks up just like that, nice and easily, that's pretty well a sign that your potatoes are ready to mash. Once you're happy that your potatoes are all cooked, all nice and soft, really simple stuff. Drain off all your excess water, and you want to be doing this while your potatoes are still really hot. Little secret I'm going to let you in on with your mashed potatoes. Obviously, don't do this every day of the week, or you're going to end up with a heart attack. But for your special guest or your special meal that you're only going to have every now and again, what you want in your mashed potato is a fairly generous amount of butter. Like, there's probably, I haven't measured it, but there's 2 fairly good chunks of butter in not a whole lot of potato. And some milk. Don't add too much milk straight away, and not even going to try and give you measurements, because you're going to have all different amounts of potato depending on how many people you're cooking for and everything else. You're just making your mashed potato by feel and eye. So a couple of splashes of milk, a little bit of salt. You don't need too much, just a little bit of salt, little bit of pepper. Give it a nice little bit of seasoning, and then it's really simple. Just go to town. This is the fun part, not. One perfect thing with the mashed potatoes, you can make them beforehand, so you're not mucking around while your guests are here and you're trying to entertain. You don't want to be making it days ahead, but certainly that day, have them all prepared a couple of hours before your guests arrive. Obviously, if you're cooking it for yourself, the best way is fresh. but you're really not going to lose a whole lot of quality if you put it in a nice sealed container, microwavable container, just like so. It's got the little thing on it that you can press down to reheat. And if you're going to be reheating it in the microwave, put it in for only about 30 seconds, stir it, 30 seconds, stir it, and you may have to add a little bit more milk and a little bit more butter as you're reheating it, and it's going to come out just as good as if you've just cooked it. Little pro tip for you. Our steaks have been in the oven for a good hour and a half now. They'd be pushing getting ready. Let's have a look, shall we? Because after an hour and a half, you want to pull them out. I've obviously brought them over on the bench here so I can show you. You don't have to bring them over on a bench, just sit them on top of the stove. Ooh, look at that. I don't know whether that steam's going to show up. And this is exactly what they should look like after an hour and a half. Probably I couldn't have done any better. Absolutely perfect. I'll give you a bit of a close-up. Now that, after an hour and a half, is exactly what you want to be looking for. That's probably absolutely perfect. At this point, what you want to do, get a spoon, get a heap of that juice that's down in the bottom, and put back over top of your steaks, just like so. Take your time, get them all nice and juiced up. What that'll do, it'll keep your steaks nice and moist. And the time has come. Let's have a look, shall we? See how it turned out. Oh, look at that. Absolutely bloody perfect. And the moment you've all been waiting for, the finished product. Now, you could probably do this for under $5 a plate. Just to recap, buy the cheapest steak you can, which is generally a chuck steak. If you look around, buy it while it's on special. You'll probably be spending 10 bucks, 12 bucks a kilo. Out of a kilo, you'll easily get 3 to 4 servings. Potatoes are basically free. I think they're about $2 a kilo, and you wouldn't even use half a kilo. A few frozen peas, a couple of carrots. Again, carrots are basically nothing. $5 a plate, and it's going to taste like a restaurant meal. Real food, done well, no fancy TikTok gimmicks. If you want some more recipes, a few more hints, Eileen's got a few dishes that she can make up. She makes up this pork rib, what is it?
Caldereta.
Caldereta, and it is easy to make, reasonably easy to make. If you leave a comment down below, we might get her on the saucepan and see what we can do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.
Bye.